I believe that they're going to continue to escalate the Ukraine war, and the United States government is for it, and so is the United Kingdom and most of Europe. Matter of fact, you look at that Meloni in Italy. At first she was against it, now she's for the war. And it's the military-industrial complex that's running the show. And we just had Zelensky here talking to Biden to get more weapons. And he was in Pennsylvania a few days ago. And this is from the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. Quote, Pennsylvania is the birthplace of American freedom, and our Commonwealth proudly stands with the people of Ukraine as they fight for their freedom against naked aggression. I'm proud to welcome President Zelensky and his delegation to Scranton. You're in Scranton because that's where they make these Howitzer shells, that military shells that they're going to keep sending to Ukraine. And this little clown boy, Shapiro, signing the shell, putting his name on it and making a message. So he'll be very happy when those shells kill maybe innocent people or soldiers or whatever. This is not the Commonwealth of America, because once upon a time that most people don't talk about or forget, there was a man, not like these little boys playing president, by the name of George Washington, a guy that fought. Oh, Washington across the Delaware, all these stories, right? His farewell address. It is our true policy to steer clear of permanent alliance with any portion of the foreign world. Observe good faith and justice toward all nations. Cultivate peace and harmony with all. The nation which indulges toward another in habitual hatred or an habitual fondness is in some degree a slave. It is a slave to its animosity or to its affection, either of which is sufficient to lead it astray from its duties and its interests. This crap has been going on for thousands of years. It's none of our business and we're not going to fix it. And if anybody with a mind bigger than a pea could figure this one out, look at the great job America's military has done since World War II. Last war they won, which they would not have won without the Soviet Union, who was the first to defeat the Germans. After 25 million plus were killed by the Germans in Operation Barbarossa. And according to John F. Kennedy's speech at American University in June of 1963, no nation suffered more during World War II than the Soviet Union. They lost their homes, their factories, their farms, their land, the equivalent of Chicago East. So now you got America getting involved in all these wars when they couldn't beat the Vietnamese, they couldn't beat the Iraqis, they couldn't beat the Taliban. Are you going to beat the Russians? Oh, no. We're ready to fight the Chinese. Oh, with the largest naval force in the world, 1.4 billion people, an advanced military. Oh, you're going to beat the Russians? Ukraine's going to beat the Russians? Napoleon went to Moscow with what? 420,000 troops he left Poland with? Came back with 10,000? We got maniacs in charge. That little Stoltenberg, an arrogant little boy, they're all so arrogant. When you call these men out man to man, as we say in the Bronx, they don't know whether to piss or shit. They're only little tough boys behind the scene. They're not men. They're not fighters. They're sick cowards who only love war. And they're ramping it up and they're going to keep ramping it up, is my forecast. You know, my magazine, the Trends Journal, I'm the publisher. It used to be a quarterly. You see how happy that guy is? It's the United States overthrow the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine in 2014. Here's the article. Washington is driving the world to the final war. And that picture, that's the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama. This article is written by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan. Washington concluded that Russia needed to be confronted with or distracted by problems that would leave the Russian government less confident or able to conquer Washington's aggression elsewhere. Ukraine presented the perfect opportunity for Washington to advance its hegemonic agenda. In a speech at the National Press Club last December, which is December 2013. Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland boasted that Washington had invested $5 billion in non-governmental organizations in Ukraine to, quote, teach democracy. People have no idea of the United States overthrow. They don't have a clue. One of the reasons was when the Soviet Union broke up, Ukraine went broke. They needed money. They made a deal with the EU and the IMF. And Putin said, listen, I got a better deal for you. I'm going to give you lower interest rates, and I'm going to cut the price of your oil and gas. Say, okay, we'll go with you. No, you won't. No, you won't. This, again, we cover the world. We show what's going on. We say, this is what's being reported. This is our analysis. This is our forecast. We've had an habitual hatred toward Russia all my life. I'm born in 1946. When I'm a kid in kindergarten, first grade, they had us hiding under a desk in case an atom bomb went off that the Russians were going to drop. And the stupidity of that. You're under a desk. If an atom bomb goes off, you think what is it going to do? It's the same thing like these politicians made up that thing. Stand 6 feet apart so COVID doesn't get you. Because the wind blows exactly in straight lines. Every 6 feet stops right there. Then when you get in that airplane, you better put on that mask. But when you're eating and drinking, you take it off because COVID knows when you're eating and drinking, it won't bother you. All right, that's the same sick mentality. When I was a kid in high school, they had us standing like this against the wall in case an atom bomb went off. And then they say, and if you see a flash, don't look at it. If I see a flash, I'll be dead in a second. All right, habitual hatred. So going back and how they had this habitual hatred going. Same magazine, we did an article here. The Sochi Olympics was going on. Leading up to the Sochi Olympics, media and the government officials warned of looming terror attacks, hotels in disrepair, filthy yellow drinking water, and homophobes everywhere. The propaganda campaign primed Americans to view Russia unfavorably. This is before it all happened. So they set the stage to hate Russia, telling people not to go to the Olympics. And again, we write the facts. Security expert, it's not if, but when for Sochi Olympics terror attack. Veteran security consultant Bill Rathbone hopes that he's wrong about the upcoming Winter Olympics in Russia, but he has more than a hunch that he's not. Quote, the security threat is higher than it's ever been in the history of the Olympic Games, Rathbone said. In my opinion, it's not a matter of whether there's going to be some kind of incident. It's just a matter of how bad it's going to be. Of course, there wasn't any, but they set the stage for the hatred of Russia prior to the overthrow of the Yanukovych government. That's how the media works. They're prostitutes, prostitutes, media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate and the government whoremasters. So that's what they're going to continue to do. Keep selling the program of hate. How about another arrogant little clown lady, Nikki Haley, who ran for president? When she went to Israel, signing a missile or weapon, finish them. Kill all the Palestinians. Finish them. That's what she signed on it. All right? So there's no common sense here. You don't ask a murderer or a thief why they're murderers and thieves. It's who they are. Go back, how many times did you hear the BS blowing out of Blinken's mouth that we're on the verge of a peace deal in the Middle East? Week after week after week. Then they would blame Hamas for not doing it, when the reality was Netanyahu doesn't want to do it. Didn't come out until the very end, until they stopped doing it. He wants that Philadelphia area. In other words, steal more Palestinian land. Oh, we don't want a permanent ceasefire. We only want to get back the hostages, and then we're going to kill more people like they did after the first ceasefire. The minute it ended, boom, bombs away over Gaza. Killed, let's see, it's about 42,000 now officially. Lancet said about 125,000 will be dead. Destroyed about 80% of the place. Schools, hospitals, mosques, churches, homes. Because Hamas is living in every one of them. So it was all a bunch of crap about peace. You're asking the United States, rolling it. The United States keeps supplying the weapons of death. Well, he just did a $20 billion deal for more weapons to keep slaughtering the people. And now going on to Lebanon and Hezbollah. Well, I just read you an article from the Financial Times, what they said about Russia taking over more territory and wearing down the Ukrainians. When they talk about Israel attacking Lebanon, every phrase used about to the people that they're attacking, they're, quote, militants. Hezbollah are militants. In one article, they used the term, this week, 6 times, militants. Israel invaded Lebanon. How long were they there for? A decade or so. And Hezbollah united and threw them out in 2006. Well, that makes them terrorists. Tells the matter with you, Celente? Don't you know that God gave them that land? Oh, yeah, it's in their comic book, chapter 6, section 8. I'm tired of hearing this crap about God gave you the land. F you. What if I don't believe in your God? Could you handle that? Could you handle that? I gotta believe in your God? Hey, I'm not telling you to believe in my God. This isn't your land. You stole it in the Balfour Declaration, 1917. Here it is. Crusades 2000, we called it. His Majesty's government declares that the land in Palestine will be settled by the Jewish people, and we will use our best endeavors to achieve this objective. His Majesty's government? Some murderous bastard from the UK where the sun never sets on the British Empire? Who the hell are you to say what should be going on in Palestine, the word that they used? Oh, I guess the Rothschilds paid you off. I forgot. They made up this crap. Oh, the United Nations declared it in 1948. 60 countries. Who the hell are you to declare that this is land? And again, I'm tired of this crap being called an anti-Semite. The people from, Ben Gurion, the first guy there, all the way through to Netanyahu, they're all Ashkenazis. They're Eastern Europeans. Palestinians are Semites. Semites are from the Mesopotamia region. Here's the article right here. Crusades 2000. This is 2006. While the seeds of Crusades 2000 had been planted in full view of the world, and all those watching could have anticipated the eventual harvest, the memories of what had happened and what would occur have been fogged by rigid ideology, fanatical religiosity, patriotic fervor, government propaganda, and ulterior motives. Regardless of what England's reasons or intentions were, self-serving or otherwise, Crusades 2000 was set in motion by the 1917 Balfour Declaration that laid the foundation for Israel. Quote, His Majesty's government views with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and we will use our best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this objective. Just what I had said. Who the hell are you to say this? Oh, and I'm tired of the crap too that you're the chosen people. What am I, I'm just a guinea from the Bronx? God doesn't choose people. The chosen people of God are the people of the highest spirit, the people that live in the intentions of the God that you believe in. Oh, that's not my language? That's from Naomi Wolf, a Jewish woman, condemns this when they say that they're the chosen people. So you have a bunch of arrogant, sick, draconian people running a country near you. It's not only there, it's everywhere. Once upon a time, they had an oil embargo back in 1973 when Israel attacked. I was a young guy back then. You had to wait an hour online to get gasoline. Inflation skyrocketed. They united. If the Arab nations united with Iran, the Persian nation, this thing would be over tomorrow. They're not uniting. They're not doing it. All they have to do is say we're cutting off the oil until the ceasefires. End of story. But no more cutting it off like they did. They had an embargo on the United States. Not my words, the words of Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces and 2-term president. He warns the American people that the military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. And you had that little clown boy over there in Pennsylvania bragging that we're making these weapons in Scranton and Pennsylvania, and we're creating jobs. Our country's rotting in front of our eyes. You know, one of the foundation of Occupy Peace, we're in about 900 bases in about 90 countries. What the hell are we doing over there? Bring home the troops. Secure the homeland. Put them to work rebuilding our third world infrastructure. It's rotting in front of our eyes. The roads are a joke. Potholes everywhere. Homeless everywhere. People shooting up here everywhere. Right in front of your eye. The country's rotting in front of our eye. Go take a subway in New York. It's a night in Calcutta. Amtrak? How about Amcrap? Look at this shit rail compared to the high-speed rails in whether in Europe and China with their high-speed rails in Japan. Look at the crap we got here. We have to rebuild the nation. We're giving over $1 trillion a year when you put the defense, the security agencies into it. $1 trillion. Homeland Security. They made this crap up at 9/11. What the hell has Homeland Security done to secure our homeland? If we put $1 trillion every year into rebuilding the nation, creating jobs in a real way, you have to become a self-sufficient nation. And by the way, that's what happened with Russia. Little Joe Biden said when he put the sanctions on Russia that, quote, Putin's going to pay the price. Putin didn't pay the price. Their economy did great. They became more self-sustaining. They have the human and natural resources. They don't need McDonald's over there. They don't need foreign countries selling their stuff there. And America has the same thing. We have all the human and natural resources we need to be self-sustaining, and they're not going to do it. The only thing, by the way, to me, that I can see is going to change this is a renaissance. That's what followed the Black Plague. The people were killing themselves with the sanitation, the filth, and just like they're killing us with all the chemicals and the crap. They were doing the same thing in a different way. When they started to realize how they were killing themselves, they had the Renaissance. And they said in Italy, alla Romana et alla antica, in the manner of the Romans and the ancients, to describe the quality of their work. And that's what we have to go back to. Look at the quality of the work now. Look what shit buildings they build. Don't you like all that steel and glass? Look at the way people dress. You don't remember this? There used to be a circus called the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. They went out of business. They were huge. You know why they went out of business? You don't have to step right up, see the fat man, see the tattooed lady, see the lady with the beard. You don't have to pay to see it anymore. They're out in the street everywhere. You got it? It's the decline of this country. This is one of my books. One of them is called What Zidzi Gave Honey Boy. Zidzi is the Neapolitan dialect for auntie. There used to be a TV show, Everyone Loves Raymond. Woman, Doris Roberts, playing the mother. The last starring role was playing my aunt. You get the movie on YouTube, Zidzi and Honey Boy. But she died 15 minutes into the movie. I'm only mentioning this because talking about the style and grace. You really can't see this that good, but there's my parents' wedding, 1934. You see the way these people are dressed and what they look like. My father worked in a fish store. My uncles were laborers. My aunts worked in factories. The dignity, the style, the grace, the Buffetts, the Gates, the Bezos, the Musks couldn't come close to one person in that picture. There's a guy that just died, Phil Donahue. Phil Donahue had a big TV show. They took him off during the Iraq War because he was pro-peace. You're not allowed to be pro-peace. It's a dirty word. This is demonic. And again, this has been going on for centuries. As I say, what's your favorite war? You like the Peloponnesian War? Oh, no, I like the 100-Year War. Well, the War of Roses was lovely. All right? And now we're at a point where we have weapons of true mass destruction. Look what happened with the pager attack that Israel did. It's new millennium warfare, and we've just seen the start of it. And by the way, when I came out with that book, Trends 2000, I was asked to do his talk at Virginia Military Institute. I was the keynote speaker because I talked about, in 2000, 24 years ago, new millennium warfare. And here we are. If we don't have peace on earth, it's going to be hell on earth. And the people could stop it if we unite. Simple as that. How'd the Berlin Wall come down? People went there, they didn't leave. More people came, they didn't leave. Day after day, week after week, more and more people until they outnumbered the guys in their costumes that were holding guns by about 10,000 to 1. Whoop, the guns come down, wall comes down. And people could do it. It's only up to the people.